Um, okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. Oh, if can you stand right here and I talk to you? I can look at you and talk to you. I'm just trying to.
Go back and forth.
Okay, you stand right
I don't
here.
want to I just don't want
You're not interrupting anything. We're good. We're good. Okay. It was January the 6th, 2011, and I had been working my job, and finally just got off work and came home and got on the television and turned the news on. Was cooking supper, and on TV it's just the most horrible news on TV, and I just, another killer, another murder, another bank robbery, and it's like I just saw it, and it's like I had a 5-month-old child at the time, and I just I felt like it's something that I could do to help, and so I called my pastor and I went and met with him and sat down with him and told him that I felt like God wanted me to do something, and we prayed that day, and 2 days later I was pronounced dead on the scene of an accident, car accident. My car was 70 feet away from the road, and I was laying in the middle of the road, and I was in a coma for 5 weeks, and I woke up at the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, Georgia. Could not feel from my chest below. Was told by the doctor that I was a T10 paraplegic, complete injury, to never walk again. And at that point, I really just was trying to figure out where I was to go next, and just kind of held on to God. And I did 3 months at the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, and then they released me. And when I got released, I came home, and I did, I think, 2 weeks of therapy, and then I was told that my therapy was over, and basically to go live life in a wheelchair. When I was at the Shepherd Center, they had this machine called the Lokomat, and because I was at the Shepherd Center on a scholarship, I wasn't allowed to get on the Lokomat because it was too much money. And so I immediately made my mind up to hate the Lokomat because I couldn't get on it. And I kept saying, y'all can have your Lokomat. I got home, I bought parallel bars, I bought braces off eBay because they wouldn't write me prescriptions for them, and so I just bought everything, and I went at it. Nothing was going to stop me. I knew that I just continued to work as hard as I could, and my doctor found out that I was standing and walking, taking steps in the parallel bars, and he was telling me that Greenville, that Vidant had just got a Lokomat. And I hear that Lokomat word again, and like, here we go with that machine. But of course, at the time, I was trying to do everything I could to get on my feet, so I accepted the 16 sessions to get on the Lokomat. And the second day that I got on the Lokomat and when I got off of it, I felt my calf muscles were pulsating. I could feel what it had done and didn't understand what it had done, but I knew it was doing something good. And I fell in love with the Lokomat that day, and I continued to come, and I went from, I want to say, 8% mobility on it does a test. It picks up the sensors of what I'm doing, the steps that I'm doing, the steps that I'm taking, and I went from 8% mobility to 44% mobility in 16 sessions, and at that moment I knew that this machine was doing a lot. And then I moved to Greenville and started doing therapy sessions on the Lokomat every day. And what I've learned in my condition, what it's taught me to do is it's reteaching my body. When it takes steps, the locomotion, my injury is at T10. So when you're paralyzed, you're missing a signal. it's not the muscles in your legs, it's the signal to the muscles in your legs. And basically, when your feet are moving, locomotion, signals are going up to your spinal cord, to the injury site. Well, when you're trying to take a step, the signal's going down, but it's not passing that injury site. So when you combine the two, the locomotion, the signals are coming up. I'm looking at my legs and send the signals down, and what it's doing is trying to re-spark the fire and retrain the spinal cord. It's not a machine that you just do once a week or you do once a month. It's just it's something you have to constantly do to retrain the spinal cord. And what I've experienced when I first started coming to therapy, by leaving a center that was a little bit different, I had just woke up from a spinal cord injury. So when you wake up from a head injury, spinal cord injury, and you got people around you all the time, it wasn't a comfortable place. So feeling that feeling when I came back here is like, well, you know, just trying to get back on my feet, but knowing I was coming back into this world. When I came back into Vidant, you know, I met some of the greatest people. You know, I love all of my therapists. It's like we always talk about what we've done or what they've done over the weekend, and just communicate and email, and everyone always is very friendly. And it's not just friendly though; it's loving. You know, they really actually care. And once I started coming here and got to meet everybody, it's like, you know, it's good to know everyone, and just we're all kind of like on a team. You know, everybody's just working on getting me together and telling me what I do good, and also telling me what I do wrong in a good, loving way. But I feel really grateful to have such a good team of people. So basically, getting on the machine and coming here every day, and then at home I'm still doing therapy too, but what I've noticed is my steps are easier. You know, I'm walking in braces at home in a walker, exactly what doctor said I'd never do. And this machine and Vidant Health and the therapists here, we've all been a team at getting me back on my feet, and that makes me feel really good, because, you know, I have a 1.5-year-old little girl at home, and whether I walk or not, we're at least going to try. It's to give it my all, and to see what comes out of it. And you know, it's all in God's hands, and He's given me a good group of people, an amazing machine, and faith.
Do you think, so you went from that 8% mobility, that's what you're at when you first came here to Vidant,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're at a 45% mobility now.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think, you talked about it a little bit, if you can maybe expand a little bit more. Obviously the machine is a great part of that, but do you feel like a lot of the difference, as you sort of said, are with the people and the treatment being close to home, how that made a difference?
Sure.
Do you think if you moved to Atlanta, you were going, I'm not trying to bring up the Shepherd's Center, but I just said, do you think you would have had the same outcome as you had the same access to Shepherd's Center?
No. I wouldn't have had the people that I have here, or we all, I guess the best way to explain that is that if you go to Atlanta, you're around a different community of people. This community of people are people that we're all on the same page. You know, they are a lot more determined. I'm not just another number. You know, they look at my personality. They know me as a person, not just a patient with a clipboard in the box. It's, how are you doing, Philip, and how's this and going, and to the point where you know, when the president of the spinal cord hospital calls me at night and talks to me and wants to know how I'm doing, and emails me and is constant contact, and I send him emails of what I'm doing with therapy, and he's constantly in contact. I mean, that's not something that he has to do. He does it from his heart. And when I first started to experience and get around these people, I felt like they don't just do it for a paycheck. You know, they actually care. And I come from a line of work where it was all about money. And when I first came here, and I watched someone pass out one day in a wheelchair, and I saw how everyone reacted to it, and it was just the red flags were in the air, and everyone was running and handling it. It's like they actually cared. And when the lady got out, she was taken care of, and she got out of the hospital, there's tears in their eyes. You know, they were worried, and to see that made me realize that they're not just doing it for money. I mean, you can't pay somebody enough money to do this kind of work. So to see that, it opens my heart to see that type of person, and it made me want to be that type of person, made me feel that type of feeling, and to do peer support and talk to patients that are in the beds that I was laying in. It's so good to talk to them and actually care. And you know, it's like the world that we live in is it's a mess. And you know, if somebody's having a hard time complaining about their life, let them come in here for a day, and I bet they'll go home very humble.
How has your daughter been an inspiration? How would you say your access to Biden has made a difference in your recovery, just by simply being here?
Well, my daughter is actually, the fears that I had for how to take care of her, gone. It's almost easier to take care of her in the wheelchair, because I can just pop her in my lap and just roll her around. You know, my main goal was to get back on my feet for the sake of being a father, you know, because I do want to take her fishing, and I do want to walk her down the aisle one day, and I will. But to have the support of the people here, and it supports when I go home, to have the support from everyone makes me feel more confident and comfortable when I go home. It's like handling her. It's really, really easy handling it, to be a father in a wheelchair.
Has she ever come up here and seen you do?
She has. She has.
What is that like?
Well, she's a year old, so she's looking at everything else. She's not really paying attention to Daddy. She wants to anything that grabs her attention.
Does it help you though when you see her in here? Like, does it kind of inspire you to push you over?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, I got to do everything I can to get myself together to be a father. So this helps me. This is helping what the physical therapists here don't really know. What they know now, but what they don't know is that they're helping me be a better father, to get me back up on my feet, for her sake.
Are you comfortable talking about the accident at all?
Absolutely, sure.
Can you talk? I know you said the accident happened and then you woke up a period of time later. Do you remember? Do we know at this point what happened? What was that feeling like? What was like the first instinctive feeling that you had waking up in a strange place?
Well, I asked where I was at. I was laying on a bed, and a nurse walked by, and I asked her. I said, "Can you come here for a second?" And I was being very nice, and she came up to me, and I said, "Am I in jail?"
I don't know if I want to know why you would think you were in jail.
Well, and then she's like, "Oh no, you were in a car wreck," and I'm like, "I've got to go to work," and she's like, "Well, no, you're fine." I said, "No, I've got to go to work," and she goes, "You've been out for a while," and then when she said I've been out for a while, it's like, I've really got to go to work. And I had customers I was in real estate, that customers moving into a house, so I made her go get my phone so I could call my boss, and I called my boss, and I was like, "What's going on? Did such and such get moved in?" He's like, "You're good to go. You know, it's all taken care of. Just relax." So that was my first worry. And then after I got everything said to me about paralyzed and the wreck, I mean, I just at that point I just fell to God, and just asked Him to help me, and just completely just surrendered.
This will likely sound like a stupid question, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Do you ever feel discouraged?
Never. No. No. Actually, very, very, very thankful. And it maybe sound completely insane and crazy, but extremely thankful, because I would not know God like I know Him now, and I wouldn't have, I got engaged in the wheelchair. My life where it's at now, I just went for the last week and hosted a college and career group at a church camp, and I was invited. It's like God is doing what He's doing. He's using this in His ways. No, I mean, just Friday night, coming back from Virginia, me and my fiance went to my wreck site, and I got out and crawled on the ground and prayed to God and thanked Him for everything. No, I look at what He's created from this is it's really good.
So what's your mission now? I know your personal mission is to walk again.
Sure.
What do you feel like your overall mission?
My what?
Overall mission.
My overall mission is to go wherever God leads me. I don't know exactly where it's going. It's really none of my business to know. Just follow. And my mission is for this machine and provide it is to help as many as people as I can. There's a lot of people that are being told they're never going to walk again, just as I was told. And maybe to give some hope. And I guess the main mission is that it's really not about walking. It's about where your heart is. I guess, 2 days before I got in this wreck, I completely just gave in and said, "Here I am, God, send me." And I got in a wreck, and I could have went this way and been miserable and hated life and came back home in a wheelchair and just hated my life, or I could have went this way and said, "Okay, God, I trust you." It's like, I don't know where you're going with this, but His thoughts are way bigger than my thoughts, and it's like God looking at me saying, "Really? Thank you. It's about time you said, I've been waiting for you. Let's go." I just feel like He's done nothing but get me ready for something that I don't know. But it's really none of my business to know. It's just go.
If you could say anything to all of the people that guided and have taken care of you and helped you get to this point, if the machine was a person as well, including the machine, what would you say?
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for caring. It's hard to find people on this earth today that actually care. And everybody at Vidant has a heart, just going into to be on a different side where I'm doing peer support and having conversation to a patient with one of the physical therapists that work with me in here, how much they care, because I know them, how they handle me, and then I see how they talk to someone and how their hearts are involved, and there's a lot of heart in this hospital.
And if you could sum up and tell other patients that are just starting out with their therapy, or maybe have been at it for a few years, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that patience is everything, and when your mind starts to go ahead, that they have to realize that this is a day-by-day process, and tomorrow is way too busy worried about tomorrow. It's worry about today, and don't look at tomorrow, and look at the accomplishments that you've overcome with your injury, and take it very slow. And a lot of people will journal what they've done, what has done good, but don't get discouraged, and just don't look at tomorrow. Don't worry about what's going to happen a month from now. Don't even worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Just worry about today.
Have you talked to a camera before?
No.
You talk better than people that talk to a camera every day. I worked at in news before
Yeah.
here, and you talk better than some of our news anchors.
I thought I did pretty bad, actually.
You're great. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting some of these shots. Is there an angle you can get almost where you shoot in the air?
I'm gonna get it.
Well, your story is amazing. And
Thank you.
Very good, very well done.
I upped your speed.
Huh?
I upped your speed a little bit.
That's okay.
So can you feel that in your legs?
I can feel, I got my sensation back. I'm walking in a walker right now with braces. I can't lock my knees right now, so I can take the step, but I can't lock my knee. It's hard. My best friend had a wedding. It was the 23rd last week, and he came to my house. I think it was January, and he set me down. Well, I was already sitting, and he said, "We need to talk." And he's like, "Listen, my wedding is planned. You're my best man, but it's on the beach." And so he's looking at my wheelchair, and he's like, "Well, we'll have to get a beach wheelchair." And I just said, "You know, Bryce, if I was at a wedding and there was someone in a tuxedo in a beach wheelchair, and they're a little big," I said, not to be rude, but I would wonder if it floated, or how did they push it around. I said, I would just wonder that. I said, that day is your wife's day, and I'm not trying to take any attention away from her. That's her day. I said, and I just looked at Bryce and I smiled, and I said, we just got to put a date on it. You know, I just have to be standing by June 23rd. And so every day we worked at it, and went to the gym every day, and I came in here every day. And June 23rd, I stood at his wedding on the beach. So that was a good accomplishment. And so now that's over, and it's been a week. Now it's the next goal is there's no question I'm going to walk. I don't question that at all. That's all in God's hands.
Sounds like you already are on some level.
I can walk from here to that mat. And yeah, no, absolutely. I'm very thankful, very thankful. But you know, it's all in God's hands. But I know He's going to get me back on my feet.
Did they say when they said you would never walk again? Did they say? And I'm just like
Uh-huh.
curious.
Sure.
The big brain is breaking. Did they say you wouldn't have feelings either? Is that
No, I was a complete spinal cord injury, to never have feelings, never walk again. I think it was 5% chance to get anything back, and I just prayed. You know, my thoughts were, if the doctor was telling me I'd never walk again, you know, God is way powerful than him, and I just prayed and prayed and prayed.
You don't strike me as this type of person, but if you called that doctor and just said, "Hey, just wanted to let you know that I'm moving."
Well, to defend the doctor, he's in a world that, with insurance companies and the medical world that we're in today, he's protecting his practice. He has to tell me the worst case scenario, and if he, out of his heart, he probably did want to tell me, "You got a chance," but to protect himself, because the world that we're in today, And if he would have said that I could have walked again, and I go home and turn the TV on and watch some fancy lawyer talk about how somebody's done you wrong, and then I go try to sue him and get money, then now I've attacked him, and now that's why he pays a fortune in insurance company every month, insurance money every month, and so to defend him, he has to do that, and that's just the world that we live in.
How did you feel after the wedding? Were you like you don't sound winded at all right now? Are you?
No.
Just do this all day?
I mean, if they'd let me, if Kirsten would let me do it all day, I'd do it.
How did you feel after the wedding? And so, okay, so you stood up at his wedding?
On the beach.
It was on the beach, so you used your walker and you walked down the aisle and sent everybody out. Was that hard on your body?
It was hard. Yeah, it was definitely hard. But we practiced. We really practiced, and went to the beach that morning and practiced. And I mean, I walked every night in my house. My house is parallel bars, hardwood floor, and walker. And you know, I get in the walker and I walk from one place to the other. I've bought a recumbent bike. I bought a treadmill. You know, and I can't walk on a treadmill, but I just feel like you got to walk with faith. And after the wedding was over, it felt good to accomplish it, and I felt very, very loved because my best friend, who was the man that got married, we worked so hard at it, and it really had nothing to do about me walking. It was us working together. Like Kirsten knows about it, and everybody, and all of my physical therapists, they're all talking about the wedding. Every time they'd see me, how many days, it was a big countdown to the days, and it was like a camaraderie of people that were all working towards it, but it really had nothing to do with the wedding. You know, it was just us all working together, and that's more passionate than any wedding and standing in any of it. It was just to have everybody together. It's like every time I saw someone, they would ask me about how many days you have, how many days you got left. So they knew that it was a big goal. So to look back at it, I'm very thankful to have everybody that helped with it. The next goal is to be walking without braces, and there's no question it's happening. And that's just that walk with faith.
Are you back to work?
Right now, I'm here every day. Well, I was here every day. Now I'm here 3 days a week, and I'm in school.
At ECU?
Hope University.
Okay. Do they do online? So you do online? Doing this. What are you going back to school for?
A Bachelor in Science in Christian Ministry.